And we're back. Reporting live.
You are live.
From down south.
Right on, we're live.
Are we on?
I see the deal.
Looks like we're on.
On here. Come on.
Well, tell them
Come
about
on.
your hunt.
Oh, yeah.
I see the deal.
Oh.
We're on.
Tell them about your hunt then.
On.
It's not wasting anybody's time.
Yeah.
Here.
Spit it out. Spit it out. Spit it out. Rapid fire.
All right, so we are coming back with another live stream today. It's Thursday again, and we are still down south turkey hunting. But just so you guys know, we're right here by a highway that's been pretty busy the last 30 minutes while we've been setting up. So there'll probably be some road noise every once in a while in here.
We'll just try to talk loud and not mumble, which would be mostly my deal.
Open your mouth.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But it's just us three right now. We don't have anybody behind the camera, so we'll try and get to your questions later on in the podcast and whenever we're done talking about some different things that have been going on with us. So
Let's see if we're getting any chatter here right quick.
I guess basically since you guys got stuck, if you guys watch a video of them getting stuck, and then we pulled out of that area and got to where we're at now, and you guys killed a bird this morning.
yes,
Pretty
we
short
did.
order.
Yeah.
After kind of going on a rodeo there for a couple days.
Yeah. 2 days, 2.5 days worth of goat roping to really 3 full days worth of goat roping. And then to roost a bird last night right at dark, and then wake up this morning and Aaron killed him at 7:05.
Kind of accidentally get right underneath him and kill him.
Oh, very accidentally. We roosted this bird last night, and me and Nick thought he was like, I don't know, 700 yards from where we heard him.
Yeah, yeah.
And Warp thought he was about 400 yards from where we were standing, and went in there this morning playing it pretty conservative, and luckily we did, because when we stopped, all of a sudden he gobbled right before, or
You guys have sat there for quite a while, hadn't you?
yeah.
Yeah, we'd been there for like 20 minutes when he gobbled the first time. How you doing?
Sorry
Yeah.
about it, people.
Yeah, there's a lot of people going by, but this is the best place where we had service around here. So
Yeah, that bird gobbled. We'd been there for like 20 minutes. Warb had owl screeched 2 or 3 times. Nothing. We thought we were hearing drumming, but weren't sure. It was so faint. Could have been anything. And then when he cut loose, He must have been looking right down at us when he did it too, because it scared me to death.
yeah, it
Like
was
60
loud.
yards, wasn't it?
Yeah, about
Oh,
60.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's about all the further it was, I'd
And
say.
you guys, how close did you expect to be to him? Like, what was the closest you figured you were?
200.
Yeah,
I was thinking 200 was the
Blew your hat
closest.
off.
Yeah, I was
Uh-huh.
waiting. I'm sitting like this, waiting for a distant gobble, and your hair gets blown back.
And he was one of those turkeys too, where it's like you didn't have to guess if it was a Jake or a Tom.
No.
You had a
He had a
gobble.
long gobble to him, that's for sure.
And it was just kind of one of those classic hunts that you kind of dream about. It seems like.
Pretty much, yeah. We once we heard him gobble, we literally just sat down at the tree that we were standing up against.
Did
Luckily,
it feel
we were,
risky that like even
Oh,
sitting
yeah.
down?
It did.
Oh,
Nick
yeah,
started
for sure.
crawling. He was already sitting down, and he just starts crawling literally 5 feet just to get around the back.
Just to get on the back of the tree. I was sitting like squatted down like a catcher, and I was sitting on the cushion, and I was just sitting there like this when he gobbled, and I just didn't know what to do. And Aaron starts trying to sit down, so I just got on all fours and started just trying to move real slow and got behind the tree.
Yeah.
And then just stayed there peeking behind it like this, like
Yeah, exactly.
wondering what was going on the whole time.
Yeah, we got sat down, and it wasn't long. He flew down into this
He
bowl.
didn't gobble
and-
until late though, did he? It was pretty good and light out.
650.
Oh yeah, it was light. We started hooting around 6:30 probably,
Mhm,
and it was
yeah.
pretty dark at that point. But we've heard turkeys gobbling at 6:30 during this
Yeah, that
last
bird that
week.
Keith
So
and I heard this morning. I think we kind of walked right underneath him, so I think that's why he gobbled late. But he said that other day when he was in there too, when it was warm like this, it didn't gobble till like 6:50.
Yeah.
Just kind of stale weather out. Really, like Nick was saying on the way here, it's cooler, or it feels cooler now than it did this morning, just because it's
Oh,
not so
for sure.
muggy.
Yeah.
Clear skies and
When I woke up in my tent this morning, I just felt wet. Everything was damp in there. And
Oh,
so I'm
yeah.
in there breathing hot breath all night too. That doesn't help.
Uh-huh.
But it was like 66 degrees. Had to been 120% humidity. No wind. Not even a breeze to try to blow it out. It was pretty miserable, honestly.
Mhm. Yeah. So we had us a good hunt this morning, but Going,
we might try to make that go live tomorrow morning, right? Is that kind of the plan, or
Yeah.
tomorrow night?
Sometime tomorrow. I think tomorrow afternoon we'll probably post that one. We've been in McDonald's working on it all day today, so
Yeah.
and we were trying to get it up for tonight, but we didn't quite get it done.
Just
so.
dealing with the finest of people.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And the fight that almost broke out in the parking lot, that was pretty interesting.
Uh-huh.
What did you gather from that? Because you had the inside perspective, and Nick and I were sitting outside the McDonald's
Oh,
watching
man.
the fight.
We were sitting there, me and Ward were sitting there editing. All of a sudden this guy walks in and he's not having a good day, and he's wanting somebody that was back in the McDonald's to come out there and talk to him. I don't know what about. I wasn't really listening too close, but I could tell he was fired up. So I'm just sitting there editing, looking up from my computer a little bit every once in a while, just trying to, act like I'm not there. And yeah, they started talking at the counter, and then they went outside, and I could hear them. They were right out the window yelling at each other. But luckily, no fight broke out other than a verbal fight.
Yeah, they just kind of all got in the vehicle and sped off.
Yeah.
Kind of weird. And I think it was, I think there's a couple employees that just got in the vehicle and left, and that probably is part of the reason that it was tough to get any service around there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What are people saying? Is the audio going to be all right?
Yeah, it seems fine. I hadn't seen anything really about audio being bad.
Good deal.
So if the audio's bad, somebody comment on there and let me know, so we know if we can tell you we don't know what to do to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, we're just going to have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Should we start talking about just kind of the struggle that we've been on?
Yeah,
Yes.
I would
Just
say.
kind of the series of unfortunate events that
Mhm.
led us.
Yeah.
Were you guys killing a turkey this morning?
Yeah.
Where does
sure.
it start, would you say?
A couple days ago now.
Yeah, it was probably 5 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Ted wanted to try something just completely out of left field, so we just woke up really early one morning and just drove.
What made you guys want to try that area that you went to?
Looking at it on the map, it looked really good when you were looking at it on the map, because a lot of the stuff down here you can't really tell what a lot of the creek bottoms are unless you're there, I feel like, or at least that was the case for this area. Like, we drove there thinking it was going to be a bunch of these big open hardwood creek bottoms, and when we got there, some of it was, but most of it was like real nasty stuff, like super high stem count bottoms that were supposed to be pretty bottoms based on the area we were in before when we were cross-referencing that on the map.
And the pine thickets didn't seem like they were burned. Everything was just kind of overgrown and not really managed. It didn't seem like no sort of, disturbance or cutting or burning going on anytime recently. It didn't seem like, besides clear cuts, which were just really thick, like not suitable turkey habitat.
Yeah.
From the little bit I drove through when I came to
tell
you guys out.
Where you came to,
that was the best stuff we'd found.
Yeah, and it was like sparingly through there too. It was all in little chunks, so you'd have like some good woods that would be like a little lane down to a bottom, and then it would be just thick, and then a little patch of good woods. And I mean, when we ended up figuring that out on the last day we were there, coming out after getting beat up by that turkey, figuring out how to slip up that ridge to get to that road.
Yeah, that was the funny thing about this hunt. Is like Nick and I, once we actually found that turkey and heard him gobble and got a pinpoint on him, then it was just like, all right, how do we get anywhere close to him?
And how is he navigating his way through all this thick stuff? And
because there would be basically tons of thick, and then there'd be a little gap of some decent woods that you could walk through, but then a lot of times you'd hit a roadblock of another thick patch. So that took us a long time to figure it out. And actually, a local guy came down the road, and he was like, yeah, you go right up here and take this lane down into the bottom, and that's how you can get into that creek bottom where this turkey's at. So that's what we ended up doing, and that helped us get a lot closer to him. Never ended up killing him or even seeing him, but we were at least able to get somewhat in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I think at one point we think we were 150 yards from him, but even then we still didn't even know how to really get any closer. It took, I mean, I just wish I could go back and have just kind of been able to walk those woods better before that, before you're actually getting in the ball game with that turkey, just to have.
Yeah, even the one you guys killed this morning, the whole day yesterday, you were just kind of scouting your way through that area.
Yeah,
That's what's nice about kind of slow playing your way into spots, is you can, like, say it's the first morning you hear something gobble, you just kind of slowly work your way through there and just, kind of take notes on where you might be able to set up and how you can navigate your way through stuff. If you need to move closer to a bird, that's super beneficial. That's what's tough about going to a new area, but it's also what's fun. It keeps you learning,
Yeah, you never know what's around the next corner.
But I think that's obviously the first unfortunate event was you guys burying the truck a couple hours away from camp.
Yeah.
And then what happened? I think your bead on your shotgun broke off.
Yeah. So bury the truck, and then I realized the bead on my shotgun at the end of my barrels broke off. So it's just a rail, which is, it's not the end of the world, but it's just kind of a nuisance because then I look down at you're just not getting that good looking bead down there that I want to see. You're not gonna
cover its head up. You're just gonna. It's gonna be nice to be able to see the full turkey. I guess.
Yeah.
But,
I think I'm gonna get me a little zip tie to put on there. The smallest one I can find, a white one, until I can figure something else out.
And you said it's threaded. It looks like it.
It looks like it. Yeah. I read a bunch of forums on that Maxis that said that you can change that bead out. You gotta heat up the barrel with a hair dryer or all kinds of stuff. But so there's that. So that's two unfortunate events. And then we went to set up camp. I got my tent and everything put up. And I pulled out my air pad. And my air pad, there's a gasket that holds all the air in, and the gasket's gone. And I think it fell down in the air pad.
Really, I'd honestly say that's probably more unfortunate than the truck getting stuck and the bead being broken.
Oh yeah.
If you don't have something to sleep on, you're just sleeping on
that
the
makes
ground.
it difficult.
I've been there, and I don't like that.
And I slept in the back seat, and it's fine for an hour or so, but eventually I'm not that tall. I'm only 5'9", but I still got a ball up in that back seat, and then it just gets uncomfortable, and you're tossing and turning. So
Shane Simpson does that the whole spring when
he sleeps in his front seat, doesn't
the
he?
Driver's seat.
He leaves the car running and sleeps in the front seat every night.
Savage.
Some people are just tougher than others.
So that's thing number 3. What's the next unfortunate event?
Oh,
we spooked the turkey on our last day there. We had been hunting that turkey a couple days like we were talking about before, and this didn't make the video because I didn't catch nothing to film. But as we're walking out, where we had originally stuck the truck is where we found a bunch of sign, and that was what led us to this turkey, which we then hunted for the next day and a half. And that last morning we got on him and kind of got close, or got as close as we had the whole time to him. And it seemed like the day before he went down into the bottom away from the road where we found all the sign. And the next day we dove down around, got away from the road on the other side of him. He shuts up. We have no idea where he goes. So we loop back up to the road to going back to the truck, and literally right where we stuck the truck and found all that sign, there was a turkey standing there and took off flying. And we're pretty sure it was a long beard.
You said it sounded heavier.
It looked like a big bird. And we had already accepted defeat. This is where we messed up. We'd already accepted defeat. And before we made the last push to get off that ridge back onto the road, Ted said, "I'm going to call one more time. I got to." Like, oh, yeah, go ahead. So he's ripping on that crystal, and nothing happens. And it was 100 yards up to the road, and then it was probably 300 yards from that spot to where we saw the turkey.
Yep.
I would think that bird could hear us, but I don't know. And so when it didn't answer that last ditch effort to call, in my brain I was like, whatever. And we get on the road, and normally we'd probably call all the way to the truck, and we were trying to get out of there and meet up with everybody else, and so we're just light-footing it down the road at a high rate of speed, and look up, and there that thing goes. And maybe, just maybe, if we would have got out and got on the road and called, we'd have been in that bubble. If it was a gobbler, it maybe got a response. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I was sour after that for a little. I was walking back. I was just counting my shoelaces all the way back to the truck.
Yeah, we got a little bit of a rush right there at the end.
That was my fault, probably. But I think one thing that was funny is you guys might not have gotten on a turkey that whole couple day spell had you not buried the truck. You probably just drove right past it and not found that sign.
Yeah, we were having a hard time finding turkeys that day. We saw some out in the field earlier that morning, but that was another deal.
Because last time you and I buried a vehicle and Hayden had to come pull us out. Granted, this was after we killed the turkey. So I was
Well,
hoping,
yeah,
it was good luck.
we buried it after the turkey
Yeah,
got
on the
shot?
way out,
Was
remember?
it? Okay, yeah.
Because Hayden didn't start. That's when we wrote the song.
Yeah.
Because we were waiting forever. I mean, that was like an hour drive from
Yeah.
camp.
Uh-huh.
Everybody's telling us we got to get a come along, and I'd say that's probably a wise investment for
Probably.
as much as we're away from other people, I guess, and not a service.
Definitely should have something.
Winch.
I mean, in my own truck, because that's not my truck even. That's a borrowed truck because mine's back home. Even in my personal truck, I mean, I don't have what I should have.
The funniest thing about getting the truck stuck is we're pulling up this road, and we've been going through some puddles, whatever, and that looked kind of similar to this one. This one was definitely bigger, but we're pull up to it, and Nick just kind of stops, and I was like, "You want me to get out and check it?" And he's like, "Yeah, go ahead." So I jump out, and I walk across the part that's like there's like a high center right there. So I walk across it, and it's like pretty solid. So I'm thinking, oh yeah, he's
You
good.
walked right through the water, didn't you?
Yeah, I walked through the water, but there was like a solid point right there in between like the treads. So I walk right across that, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, that's good. And so I turn around, and I'm like, come on,
come on
through. And I mean, he gets in it and just goes straight down and buries that thing as soon as he drops into the hole. It was way deeper than I expected.
And way softer. And honestly, it was just where the right side went in. The left side was fine, really.
Yeah.
But that right side was just super soft, and I couldn't tell how deep the hole was. And maybe what we should have done is got a stick and stabbed it. Hindsight's 20/20.
You guys did check it though. So.
Yeah, we did.
Well, yeah, I walked across it, and I was like, "Oh, it's solid."
Just like, we're good.
So I didn't know how deep it was, so I didn't just want to hammer across it. So I just kind of eased in there and just immediately sunk, and then put it in retreat and hammered on it, trying to get out of there, and it just buried up even more.
Was probably just hammering.
Oh yeah,
yeah, probably.
Remember when we buried it in Kentucky, and Hayden was coming down to get us, and he gets to the road, and he's like, wasn't he like a mile plus from where we were?
Yeah, he just turned off the good road onto the road that we got stuck on.
Like this whole road was like far worse. I feel like.
The whole road
was pretty similar to what you got stuck in, but it was drier. But like those ruts were just like crazy. But I could weave through them, and the little Honda Pilot. And Hayden gets there, he calls Ted. He's just like, "Are you sure this is the road? This can't be the road."
Yeah, he goes, "This cannot be the road. I'm at the wrong road. You guys got to send me another pin." And so I'm like, "Well, send me the pin." I think I said of where you're at, and I get the pin, and it's right there on the road that we're stuck on. And I call him back. I'm like, "Yep, you're at the right spot."
You got a ways to go.
Yeah. So eventually, he picked his way through there and got to us, pulled us out.
It wasn't as easy though with just having the longer axle vehicle.
Yeah, it was definitely tougher.
Next unfortunate event, I think, is when me and Warb just got completely smashed.
Yeah, for sure.
By another vehicle. A bus stops in front of us. They're making a left turn. There's oncoming traffic. So Warb slows down. We're talking. I don't remember what about. But, it's just like out of nowhere. Like neither of us saw it coming in the rear view, nothing. The speed limit was 45 there. And we didn't hear any brakes slamming. And all of a sudden, just like a loud noise. And, it's like your body's just kind of numb and your ears, it's like when if you're not wearing hearing protection and you get a really bad muzzle blast.
Yeah.
It's like, which you probably definitely know. It's just like your hearing slowly comes back to you.
Yeah.
Like that was that loud. And I think I looked at Ward. The first thing I said was, "You all right?" Because it's just like, I had no idea what happened. Like I didn't know if there's an earthquake going on or what.
Yeah.
And then Ward said some funny stuff that I can't repeat. And I mean, in the video, it just makes it look so much like not as bad as it probably was. Really, like the guy was cruising pretty good. But anyway, everybody was all right, and he didn't hit the school bus that was in front of us, and he didn't drive off. So it could have went way worse. Nobody got hurt too bad. I mean, we weren't feeling anything at first, and my neck was a little sore. Later that night, I think it just got kind of whipped back.
I'm sure.
Warb said his back was a little sore, but he's got several grand in damages to his vehicle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if you guys want to watch that video of what he's talking about, that was just put up yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah. And Jake, I'm pretty sure you hit record on the GoPro pretty much as soon as y'all got hit. So that answers that question. Eric.
I
think people want you to take your feet out.
Yeah.
take my feet out
Get
again.
the dogs out, boy.
That's what they keep saying. They're like, let them dogs out.
I need to. I need to rest up because I didn't even bring Crocs or anything on this trip. Nothing but boots and socks. So these things are getting nice and pruned up
if you're
in
gonna
there.
travel around and you're gonna take a shower, you're gonna want to bring a pair of Crocs or
Yeah.
shower shoes.
Yeah.
Because like you don't want to be going. Nick and I just took a shower at a public restroom, or I guess it was a truck stop. And you don't. I mean,
it was a
any
loose
public restroom,
loose term of a truck stop.
You don't want to be going in there with no shoes on.
Yeah.
I mean, I was trying not to touch the shower curtain.
Yeah,
I like grabbed it, peeled it back. I mean,
place is pretty good.
Yeah, you don't want to use this. You definitely don't want to use the towels that they have handy
those
for
are
everybody.
yeah. Yeah, so it's such a nice establishment to take showers in. Yeah, that they have complimentary towels there.
I had one and then warped through it in the wash right before we left rashes, and it was just soaking wet. So I'm just like, I'll just leave it there.
So Jake drew the lucky short
This guy
straw.
reaches into this cabinet, or behind the counter. He's just like, "Oh, we only got one towel." And Nick's just like, yeah, I got my own.
One community towel.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then I go in the bathroom and unfold it. It looks like maybe there was some fecal matter on it. It seemed like.
Some good doo-doo stains on there.
So I tried to.
I might have dried off
Just
with my
wash
dirty
with one
underwear
corner.
instead of
Wash
that
off one
towel.
corner.
Mhm. I think, that's the struggle bus. But then you go and kill a turkey the next day. And I think one thing we wanted to talk about was if you are traveling to hunt, or even if you're not traveling to hunt, just pulling the plug on an area. Like we've had to do it several times, and a lot of times it's worked out for us. You go to a spot, and it's just not what you expected for whatever reason. I don't think it's, you can't do it too soon, but like there's got to be a point where you're just like, all right, somewhere else might be more worth our while. And I mean, that's kind of what we did here.
Mm-hmm. I think that's something that takes a little bit of time to learn, like when the right time to pull the plug is. Once you've been on some trips before, then you start to, get a better idea of, all right, this spot ain't it. I can probably find a better area to go try.
Yeah.
And I feel, at least for me anyway, I definitely feel like I've felt, can feel that better.
Yeah, and even if you've gone to that place and had success in the past, especially on public, I mean, really just hunting in general, it's just like, I feel like people have a tendency, if they have success in a place, just one time, it's like they're going to go back to it, even if the circumstances and everything's changed about it. And like, I feel like, you just can't get married to a spot. You just got to keep her moving.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What other topics we got here?
Let's see. I got a list here.
I got a hitting the reset button note, which kind of goes into our shower, and really it kind of goes with everything that we're talking about. Just like the whole series of unfortunate events. There's been several times, like I think one we've talked about before is in Florida, where I think we hunted there 10 days, or I don't know how many days before we killed a turkey, but
it was a lot.
It was like the day after that we hit the reset button is when we killed the turkey. I feel like there it's just like, if things are going bad, say you miss a turkey or, wound something, or, just something bad happens, or a series of unfortunate events, just like us taking a shower today. It's just like
a good little reset.
Maybe go get an ice cream cone. Just do something,
to lift your spirits back up.
Take a nap, sleep in the morning if you got time. It's just, I feel like you can get out there and start making some pretty bad decisions, and maybe you could speak on that a little more, just with the Marine experience. It's just like being worn down, how to deal with that type of stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean, just when you go, doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're delivering mail or turkey hunting or whatever, if you don't take some sort of break to kind of give your brain a little time off, I mean, you're going to get wore down, and then you're going to start making mistakes that you wouldn't normally make, like delivering mail to the wrong house, or hooting when you should have crowed, or, sitting down 50 yards before you sat down, or whatever.
I think if you're just finding yourself like really stressed out there, it's just like it's not how it really should be.
Yeah,
it's like,
and that's kind of
be an enjoyable experience. So it's just like maybe just slow down, take a step back, and
when you get stressed, it's kind of when you stop having fun. Like if you're getting really mad or whatever, and you feel like you're not having as much fun as you should be having, then that's when you go get that dip cone from Dairy Queen or a dilly bar.
I think it's a lot easier for us not to have that happen, because I feel like all of us generally have a pretty positive attitude, and you just always have another person there where like everything could just be a joke. It's just like, I mean, this is what happened.
Literally everything.
This is what we're dealing with. All you can do is try to be positive about it. You get rear-ended, start laughing.
I gotta bring this up just so Jake and I can talk about it a little bit. But one time, me and Jake were in a tent for, I mean, days and days and days in Indiana, and it was raining on us. He had shot at a turkey, didn't hit it, so we were just going every single day, and it was just me and him. And man, we came up with some wild stuff in that tent just to keep ourselves entertained.
Yeah, I mean, anytime where it's just like you and another person for a long spell of time like that, it's just like you're gonna probably run out of stuff that makes sense to talk about. Talking kind of crazy nonsense, and then like you'll just end up laughing at something weird that's said, and I just won't stop saying it. He just laughs at it every time, and it just like continues to get worse and worse, really. Yeah, to where you go back to civilization, and it's like I'm with my girlfriend, and I'm just saying weird stuff that doesn't make any sense. She has no idea what I'm talking about.
All right, so one of the notes I had on here was, what's the weather like, and how many turkeys are you hearing?
What's the weather like? That really has changed in the last 5 days. It went
Big
from
time.
20s to lows in the 20s to what was low last night, probably 60 something.
Yeah, 65 or 66 this morning.
And the high was what?
85.
85. It's warm.
Yeah, very, very warm.
85, and it was probably 97 in the McDonald's that we were editing at.
Oh, it's brutal in there.
No AC.
Just sweating, sitting there sweating.
It's hot, and the amount of turkeys gobbling. I mean, even from the time we got here, you know, on public, we hadn't been hearing just. I can't think, and maybe my brain's just mushing right now, but I can't think of a morning where I've gone and heard multiple birds from one spot.
I think the only time I did was opening morning with thrash. Opening morning of youth season with thrash, we heard 3 birds gobbling. But since then, I don't think we've heard more than just one in a certain spot.
Oh, I lied. I did just lie just then. Opening morning of regular season, we heard 2 different birds.
Yeah.
Right off the bat. But I can't think of another
So
time.
there's your public land experience, and then I've been going with private land guys. And I mean, most mornings you're just hearing 1 or 2 birds, but there's been mornings where you hear 4, and then I've been hunting with different people every day, but you get a report from like Keith the other day. He went to the same spot we went to this morning. He heard 6. I went with Lee the other day. We heard 1 bird or 2 birds that morning. Then we saw 4 total that day that were probably all within earshot, when they're on the roost. And then he went back the next day and he saw 7 longbeards.
Yeah.
And those turkeys were probably all within earshot. There's just like even the bird you guys killed this morning, there's another longbeard with him.
Yeah, there was one with him.
Yeah.
He never gobbled once. He said the bird would gobble, and then he just let out a couple of yelps.
Yeah, he was yelping.
Or the Jake that was with him.
Yeah, one of them was.
Something was yelping.
Yeah, and somebody asked here, is it birds not gobbling or low bird populations? And I think it's just a combination of birds not gobbling. Like right now, the weather's just bad.
Yeah,
and they've been hunting.
Where you're at for bird population, but that's one thing that I'm starting to realize, regardless of where you are, it's like they're not all gobbling. Like remember that day that was so crazy last year in Iowa, where you and I killed one right off the roost. You filmed me, gun clicked.
Oh yeah.
There's 3, and that's in Iowa, like low pressure, perfect morning. There's 3 longbeards that we can see, and one of them never said a peep. He's right there with the other ones, but he never gobbled one time. I think he did. There was 2 different times where he followed them up with the yelp.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So just because they're not gobbling doesn't mean they're not there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I talked to a guy, and
they're not as easy to kill when they're not gobbling. That's for sure. But they're there.
Yeah. I talked to a guy in the store earlier today, and he was telling me the same thing. He said he heard 1 bird opening morning, and that was it. He hadn't heard any other gobbling since then. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I don't think that this is just my personal opinion. In this vicinity, I don't think there's low population.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, because we're driving around and seeing hens and stuff like that. So,
and it's aside from the one area that you guys hunted, like a lot of the places that we've hunted, it's good habitat where it looks like there should be turkeys.
Oh yeah,
there is turkeys
for sure.
Oh, I just had something. I was thinking about when I lost it.
Somebody said the Southern boys just know how to owl call from birth. I'd say no because
Because you're the only Southern boy
and
here.
I don't do it very well.
You make them gobble.
I mean,
Oh, every now and then.
uh-huh.
I think some people know how to do it from birth. I think Warb just kind of popped out doing it.
Yeah. What else you got? Anything on there?
Crickets is what we got. I just had some before, and believe it or not, somehow
No
it
kidding?
slipped right out of this steel trap I got.
I can't believe that.
You forgot
I had-
something?
Yeah, I had something up there, and it was good too. Trust
Did
me.
you ever find your wallet where I put it?
No, I did find it.
Okay.
And I moved it because I had a wallet sitting in that exact spot one time on the way to Texas,
Uh-huh.
and then it wasn't there anymore. At a certain point, it must have fell out when I opened the door, so I took it out of there. Learned my lesson.
You got any more on there?
You got any good hate comments over there, Nick?
Any good hate comments? I ain't seen any yet. I'm blind to it. Nah.
What do you think the next couple days is going to look like for you guys?
Tough.
Hopefully. Yeah.
I'm just
Probably.
being honest. Tough.
For sure will be tough because we're going to have to deal with some rain and some hot weather. So it'll be interesting to see what we can come up with.
Yeah, it's going to be what? It's going to be hot until it starts raining tomorrow at like, I don't know what time. But
Not
then
until
it's
the
gonna
afternoon
rain for
tomorrow.
a couple of days. We might get a little hotel to stay at because there's a guy that told us, so I was sitting at camp last night, and all of a sudden it's like 45 minutes before dark. I hear some walking in the leaves. I look over and there's a guy, there's no other vehicles in this lot that we're camping in. All of a sudden a guy just comes walking up and he's just like, oh, I'm like glad to see someone. And he just slowly starts to realize that he watches the videos. And
Yeah.
He just like gets pretty fired up. But anyway, one thing that he said was, you guys do not want to be camped here, I guess tomorrow night when the storm comes through. He's like, it's going to get pretty wild.
Mm-hmm.
So we might have to shack up.
That's the guy you met last night.
Mm-hmm.
His buddy just commented on here, said it was his buddy that, that he met last night. He said blew me away when he FaceTimed me.
That's cool.
It was cool to talk to that guy. He's done quite a bit of hunting around here, it seemed like.
Yeah, last year we got into a pretty nasty storm. I remember we were down south, and me and Ward were laying in this tent, and all of a sudden we didn't even know. I think we knew there was a storm coming, but weren't sure if it was going to hit us or not. But it was like midnight, and I wake up, and it's just lightning bolts just hitting, just flash, boom. And I wake up and I roll over in my cot, and there's Ward grabbing everything and just like hauling out of the tent. I was like, "Oh crap!"
I better go.
Yeah,
You kind of
I gotta
like
get out of here.
it.
Yeah, so I don't want to run into anything like that again.
No, it's
That was
not.
freaky.
It's not worth risking it when you're just tent camping. It's like you gotta either drive out of it or have some sort of plan. I'd say.
Yeah.
If it's
Yeah.
wild. At least get in your vehicle, because you don't want to be sitting in a tent.
Off topic of turkeys, but we slept through some pretty gnarly lightning storms this past fall.
Yeah.
We had some pretty good ones in Montana we slept through in pronghorn season, and
Yeah.
in North Dakota.
Remember that.
We had some
It's part
pretty
of the
good.
reason I sleep in my vehicle when I can too. It's like I just lay the seats down, then I'm in there.
Yeah.
And I feel safe.
So there was a big hailstorm came through the first time we were there, and you're in your car, and Zach was in his big tent up there. He's pretty safe. And then a big hailstorm came through, and I had no idea.
I don't know. You think that's safe on top of the truck like that?
Well, it's got a
I guess
hard
you got
side.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
it's
right,
got hard.
I mean,
I
I don't.
guess from lightning.
Yeah, I don't know about lightning, but that hailstorm come through, and I didn't know anything about it. And Zach told me the next morning when we woke up, he said, "Yeah, I poked my head out and hollered your name to see if you're all right, and I didn't hear anything, so I figured you were good."
So I went back to sleep.
Yeah, so I just went back to sleep. I
He's either
slept through
good
the
or
whole
he's
thing.
dead.
I had no idea.
Uh,
Zach's doing good. He's rehabbing his leg right now.
I'd say there's about no way he's not going to be at least crutching around by the end of turkey season.
We can
Yeah.
hobble him somewhere.
Yeah. And I was on the phone with him the other day. He was going to do hunt with Whitney's brother out there, maybe in Colorado too.
nice.
That'd be cool.
Mm-hmm. Any other good topics? Otherwise, we might start cooking this food up.
Yeah, I'm ready to cook some. There have actually been some questions of new recipes, and
Oh, there you go.
I'm ready to. I'm actually hungry, and it's going to take a while to cut everything
Are
up.
any of these new ingredients that you just got going to be new recipes for you? Maybe just let them know what's on the menu here the next couple nights for us. A lot of turkey breast.
Yeah, lots of
fortunately.
turkey breasts, and so all we got is the griddle. So it's kind of different to how I've always cooked turkey. I usually fry it or whatever, and so I'm just chunking it up real small. And we did teriyaki stir fry with a turkey breast a couple nights ago. Last night we made tacos out of it. We had like fresh avocado, red onion, cilantro, all the good things to put on it.
Ranch sauce.
Yeah, some jalapeno ranch, the green Cholula.
You put peppers in there.
Yeah, I had peppers in it. Just put all that in a tortilla and put it right in your face hole, and it's pretty good. Tonight we're just doing some barbecue sauce, and I got some potatoes I'm gonna cook on the griddle, and I'm gonna do some more broccoli left over, just kind of get that going. And that's it. And then tomorrow I think we'll revert back to the stir fry. I think it'll be time to revisit that again.
I think mandatory for the rest of the turkey tour is going to have a slow cooker on deck and a deep fryer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that griddle's sweet, but I mean, it'd be nice to be able to do a bunch of different things with stuff.
For sure. Yeah. Something more than just, burn it up pretty good on a griddle. I'd love to be able to fry something or just put it in a crock pot and let it go.
Josh, how did Josh make that the Chick-fil-A style turkey for us?
He brined it in pickle juice for 8 hours.
And you could really taste that pickle juice in there, which was...
And you could tell that it tenderized it a really good bit.
Is that basically the same as like putting it in pineapple juice like you do?
Yeah, for the venison. It's same deal, I'm assuming.
So pickle juice for 8 hours, you said?
Pickle juice for 8 hours. And then he had, now his batter he got from Meat Eater, was one of their recipes. So it was flour and a bunch of spices. It was like paprika, black pepper, maybe cumin. I don't know. It was a whole bunch of different things he listed off. And then just frying it like regular. But for batter, I just go with I go with black pepper and Tony's and usually call that good. But what he did was exceptional. That was some of the most tender nuggets I've ever had.
Yeah. Let me look, see if we got any questions I can.
No, there's not any recovery equipment in my truck at the moment. My truck bed is full of stuff, and no. So
recovery equipment.
Yeah, I guess maybe come along a chain, things like that.
Yeah,
I ain't got there yet. You got to slowly acquire. Yeah, it's not my truck. Jesse will have to acquire his own stuff.
I have in mine. I've got like one of those jump starters.
Yeah.
That if your battery dies, it'll jump start for you. Not just jumper cables, but like an actual battery.
A little power box.
Yeah, I've got a tire plug kit, which I probably use that more than anything. And then something to inflate the tire back up if need be. And then I've got a tow strap. And probably should get a come. I do have a big ratchet strap that honestly could get my pilot out probably if I got stuck.
There's a young man on here who wants to know how old you have to be to become an intern. I believe it's 18, isn't it?
Ted was 18.
I was 18.
Youngest.
Barely
THP
18.
history.
Yeah. 18 years old.
Old enough to know better.
That's right.
Yeah. Now look what you got yourself into.
I know. Got to figuring out how to get out of it now. Somebody asked how the Honda's doing. The Honda is now a storage vehicle for me. It's just parked at the house, and I got tons of crap in there. It's actually great because I just leave it parked and throw all my gear in there, and it keeps it out of everybody else's way. And then I actually got a Toyota 4Runner, not actually right before NWTF, so
we're gonna be taking
middle of February.
Sweet jumps.
Oh, for sure, no doubt.
My pilot's got like 260 or 270,000 miles on it.
270? Nice.
Getting close.
My truck has 283,000, I believe, on it, and it's getting a new motor put in it.
What was the issue with
tomorrow?
What was the issue with the motor?
I think we were just getting a new one put in before anything really bad happened. Had that many miles on it. And then as soon as we got into Mississippi, my transmission went out because my dad was driving it and the transmission went out, but it was still under warranty. So new transmission's going in. tomorrow, I think, and then the new motor's going in the next couple of days. So she'll be rocking and rolling next
Right
week.
on. We all got some pretty trustworthy vehicles now.
Yeah, I'll be out of this
I don't know about
spaceship of a
mine.
Dodge.
Well, should we wrap it up?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah,
make
let's
some
go
food.
eat. We got
Let's go watch Nick make some food and
Yeah.
bother him while he's doing it.
Yeah, let's do that.
Thank you
Thanks,
guys for
guys.
joining us.
yeah. Thanks for joining.
New podcast Tuesday, and then another live next Thursday. We'll see you then.
Check it out.